Excuse me. I can hear all of you over there. Thank you. Do you think wealth corrupts?
Certainly can corrupt.
There are two things in life, love and work. If you had to choose one, if it was a life and death situation, which one would you choose?
I would probably choose love.
You would?
I think so, yes.
Despite the fact that you spend all your time working, achieving, creating.
The happiest people tend to be the people that are making a nice income, that really enjoy their life and their family life, and not the people of tremendous wealth that are constantly driven to achieve more and more success.
How did that Donald Trump changed into?
Kamala, you're fired. Get out of here. You're
This
fired.
Donald Trump.
You are fake news.
In the face, I'll tell you.
These are just dishonest, terrible people. I'm telling you that. Terrible.
There is a difference of total 36 years between these two moments. Being a businessman, a charmer, and not to forget he is a billionaire too, and now he has entered into politics. From once refusing to run for president to really becoming the president of the United States. How he changed so much, and how he did that. The man who is currently enjoying the gold, but 78 years from today, he was born with a silver spoon. This is the biography of America's 45th president. You love him or hate him, it doesn't matter. But his life story is going to teach you something today. That's why you should watch this video till the end. He was born to a very wealthy family in Queens, New York on the 14th of June, 1946. He grew up in a 23-room, 9-bathroom, white-columned mansion, and with an exclusive standard, all-white neighborhood. Friends who came over to meet Trump would be greeted by the maid who would welcome them with a platter of pizzas and a warm smile, making them feel instantly at a luxurious home. His father, Fred Trump, was a super-wealthy New York real estate tycoon. Fred Trump worked really hard to achieve the multimillionaire status by selling houses to middle-class white families. Donald's mother, Mary, was a poor immigrant from Scotland. The two met at a party in Queens, Brooklyn, and married in 1936. They have 5 children, Donald being the second youngest of all. When Donald was just 3 years old, his father set up a land trust fund in the name of Donald. That means at the age of just 3 years old, Donald was making the equivalent today of $200,000 annually from his dad's empire, which is more than most 3-year-olds make. And by the time he was 8-year-old, he was already a millionaire, meaning he could pay his babysitter himself. Shortly after Donald Trump turned 13, the family sent him to a military academy. It would be the closest he'd get to serving in the military. The time he was 17, his father gave him part ownership of a 52-unit apartment building. Growing up in a real estate family, Donald was exposed to the business from a very young age. His father would take him to construction sites and meetings, teaching him the ins and outs of the industry, and then he was off to college. He started at Fordham University, and then 2 years later he was transferred to the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, which was renowned for its real estate program. According to Donald's niece Mary, Donald allegedly paid someone to take the SAT on his behalf to achieve a high yet fraudulent score with which he got transferred to Wharton. Trump claimed the school was the hardest to get into, the best school in the world. It's unclear how Donald performed at the school, because Trump's attorney Michael Cohen was allegedly ordered to prevent his boss's school transcripts.
I'm talking about a man who declares himself brilliant, but directed me to threaten his high school, his colleges, and the college board to never release his grades or SAT scores.
Well, in college, Trump made significant effort to avoid the Vietnam War. He obtained 4 student draft deferments, which allowed him to postpone his military service despite being fit and eligible for military service. These deferments helped him avoid being drafted during his time in college. After graduating from UPenn, he was eligible for the draft again. This time, he received a medical deferment for alleged bone spurs in his feet.
Numerous deferments because of college, and I had a foot thing, and I had deferment for that.
In 1971, at the age of 25, Trump became president of his father's real estate company. He renamed it the Trump Organization. It was around this time when his father gave him a small loan, as he says.
My father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
According to reports, Donald received the equivalent today of $413 million from his dad's real estate empire, after getting a bunch of money. In 1977, Donald married Czech model Ivana Zelníková. They had 3 children together, Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric.
We get along very well, and there's not a lot of disagreement because ultimately Ivana does exactly as I tell her to do.
While his marriage was going extremely well, his position as president of the real estate company was not. He was making headlines for all the wrong reasons. On October 16, 1973, New York Times published an article with the headline, "Major Landlord Accused of Anti-Black Bias in City." Yes, you guessed it right. They were referring to Donald Trump here. Donald owned 14,000 apartments in 39 different buildings, and in all the apartments the tenants were predominantly white. When Department of Justice got to hear about this, they immediately charged Donald and his father with discriminating against black people in rentals practices, thus violating the Fair Housing Act of 1968. But who informed the Department of Justice about this? Whenever black activists applied for an advertised vacancy in a Trump building, they were consistently told that no vacancies were available. And when their white counterparts tried the same thing, they were welcomed with wide arms open and get the vacancies. Employees of Trump properties allegedly used a coding system where applications from black individuals were marked with a C for colored. A former Trump rental agent spoke to NBC about how he was ordered to handle the case if a black person applied.
Fred Trump came into my office with his son Donald at his side. I asked him what I should do with the application of Miss Brown. He told me at that time to take the application and put it in the desk drawer, as he does not rent to people of color, utilizing the N-word, and Donald shook his head, agreeing with his father.
Even after being caught red-handed, Donald Trump went for the attack. He hired the notorious lawyer Roy Cohn, known for his aggressive tactics, and countersued the Department of Justice for $100 million for defamation. However, this countersuit was quickly dismissed by the court. In 1975, Donald and his father settled the original case. They were ordered to study the Fair Housing Act and to refrain from discrimination at their properties in the future. Additionally, they were ordered to work with the New York Urban League to identify new tenants. Despite of all these early controversies, Donald was on the rise, and so were his buildings. Throughout the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, it seems Trump smeared his name in gold plating wherever he could. Casinos, steaks, residential high-rises, vodka bottles, water bottles, board games, hotels, and golf courses all donned the Trump name. All of these had a brand name of Trump. But irony is, Bankruptcy Filings also got attracted to Trump's name. When Donald acquired the Taj Mahal Casino, which was funded primarily through junk bonds, he thought it would be a great success, but instead, it was in $3 billion in debt within just 1 year of opening. Donald Trump's companies filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy 6 times. By 1990, they owed $4 billion to more than 70 banks. He refused to pay millions of dollars to working people, like contractors and other businesses in the process, which is probably why he made a cameo in Home Alone 2. NBC reported that from 1985 to 1994, Donald Trump lost more than $1 billion.
I remember once my father and I were walking down Fifth Avenue, and there was a homeless person sitting right outside of Trump Tower. And I think I was probably maybe 9, 10, something like this. It was around the same time as the divorce. And I remember my father pointing to him and saying, you know, that guy has $8 billion more than me, because he was in such extreme debt at that point, you know?
Today, he claims to be a billionaire. But is he really a billionaire?
I'm really rich.
Okay, that sounds interesting, but how much is he really worth?
How much are you worth right now as you're sitting right here?
Zero idea, David.
In April of 2020, during the pandemic, when coronavirus hit United States, Forbes reported that Trump's net worth collapsed a total $1 billion. It's actually unclear what the Trump's net worth is. Irony is, Donald Trump had not paid income taxes for 10 of the 15 years preceding his presidency. This information was part of a detailed investigation by the New York Times, which obtained and analyzed decades of Trump's personal and business tax returns. According to the report, Trump paid no federal income taxes in 10 of those years, mainly because he reported losing significantly more money than he made. The Times' investigation highlighted that Trump managed to avoid paying income taxes by claiming extensive losses and using other deductions. For instance, he claimed a $72.9 million tax refund that is the subject of an ongoing audit by the IRS. Ironically, in first year of his presidency, He paid just $750 in federal income tax. Yeah, you heard it right. The man who claimed himself a billionaire just paid $750 in taxes. This raises questions about the fairness of a tax system that seemingly allows such outcomes. In comparison, former President Barack Obama paid about $1.8 million in taxes in his first year in office. In 1992, Donald and Ivana divorced after he cheated on her with Marla Maples, who later became his second wife. Donald and Ivana settled for $14 million, a deal she took because she thought Donald was going bankrupt. That same year, Donald had his 5th children with Maples, a daughter, Tiffany Trump.
She's really a beautiful baby, and she's got Marla's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet, but time will tell.
In the mid-90s, E. Jean Carroll, a writer and former Miss Cheerleader USA, accused Donald for assaulting her. In a department store dressing room, Donald responded to the allegation by saying, "She's not my type." This led many people to believe there is a type of woman he would rape. Over the next decades, Donald was accused of rape, sexual assault, and sexual harassment by more than 20 women. Here's a leaked tape of Donald from 2005, in which he caught talking weirdly about women.
I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the Hello, how are you? Hi.
This audio was gone viral in 2019 elections, but he defended this by saying, "The locker room talks." Not so surprising, but from 1996 to 2015, Donald Trump owned the Miss Universe franchise, where his locker room behavior continued. You can hear in this video of him saying,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it.
but this doesn't stop here. Look what he has to say about his own daughter.
Although she does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird. Stop it. You know what? You are sick.
Between these controversies in personal life, Donald Trump's political career also got started when he joined Republican Party in 1980. Although he was not so active in politics at that time, but he made some donations to campaigns and public commentary on issues. It is said that he entered into politics for having power in his hands so that he can do what he wants to do as a businessman.
For some people, the ultimate goal in life has been becoming the President of the United States. Would you like to be the President of the United States?
I really don't believe I would run it, but I would like to see somebody as the President who could do the job, and there are very capable people in this country.
This was from the 1980 interview. He declined any intentions for becoming a president. His denials were part of a larger pattern of unpredictable behavior that kept the public and media guessing about his true intentions. In 2000, Trump made a preliminary entry into presidential politics when he sought the nomination of the Reform Party for president. This was more of an exploratory phase rather than a full-fledged campaign, but it gave him a taste of political campaigning and national-level politics. Even at this point, Donald Trump has totally no intentions of running for the presidential election. So what changed his mind? In 2011, Donald Trump was invited to White House Correspondents' Dinner, where several other celebrities, journalists, and politicians were present. During this dinner, Barack Obama took the opportunity to counter him about birther conspiracy, which falsely claimed that Obama was not born in the United States. Obama roasted Donald Trump in a humorous yet cutting manner.
No one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing?
These jokes were met with laughter from the audience, but cameras showed Trump looking serious and not finding it funny during the roast. It is said that this influenced Trump to enter into politics, fully fledged. The real turning point came in 2015. On June 16th, Trump formally announced his candidacy for the presidency from Trump Tower in New York. This announcement was famously marked by his descent on an escalator alongside his wife, Melania. During his announcement speech, Trump leveraged his identity as a successful businessman to present himself as a candidate who could bring practical solutions and strong leadership to Washington. He promised to make America great again, tapping into a sentiment of national decline that resonated with many voters. Trump's campaign strategy was unconventional. He utilized his skills in media manipulation, often making provocative statements that ensured continuous coverage by the media. His approach capitalized on widespread dissatisfaction with the political establishment and economic anxiety among the middle class. His promises to tackle illegal immigration, offshoring of American jobs, and his stance on renegotiating trade deals appealed to a significant segment of the American electorate. Throughout the campaign, Trump's ability to dominate the media helped him overcome significant controversies and criticisms. His use of social media, particularly Twitter, allowed him to communicate directly with the electorate, bypassing traditional media filters and further solidifying his connection with his core supporters. He even apologized socially for the leaked tape of 2005, which he named The Locker Room Talks.
I've said some foolish things, but there's a big difference between the words and actions of other people.
Trump knew it was bad, and he did a mistake there. That's why all the fingers are pointing towards him, but he smartly turned all these fingers towards Bill Clinton, who was the husband of Hillary Clinton. She was running for president against Donald Trump. Donald Trump brought up attention towards Bill Clinton's bad deeds to deflect criticism of his own behavior and to attack Hillary Clinton. Trump highlighted past allegations of sexual misconduct against Bill Clinton, including accusations from several women who claimed that they had been sexually harassed or assaulted by him years earlier.
Mr. Trump may have said some bad words, but Bill Clinton raped me.
Trump also criticized the way Hillary Clinton had handled these accusations during her husband's political career, attempting to weaken her stance on women's issues by associating her with her husband's controversies. This shows how smartly he acts and knows how to get out of controversies. And as it was predicted in The Simpsons show, Donald Trump won the presidential election in November 2016. His victory highlighted a profound shift in American politics, emphasizing personality and media presence as powerful tools in achieving political success. On the 20th of January, 2017, Donald Trump took oath and started his presidency tenure.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
Throughout his career, he has seen many ups and downs, from being the center of controversy to turning it to others. Despite the mainstream media often not taking him seriously, the people who mocked him when he was at rock bottom in the year 1990s, and even being roasted by the president himself, Trump came a long way and proved his critics wrong. He didn't just talk, but he demonstrated it by winning the presidency. What do you think who is going to win 2024 elections? Comment down your thoughts and subscribe Advancible to be the advanced version of yourself.